Alright my peeps, time for another prediction game video for Battleground 2013. This is the World Heavyweight Championship matchup. It's going to be Alberto Del Rio defending the title against Rob Van Dam. Not just any match, it's going to be a Battlegrounds hardcore rules match, which I assume is just a regular hardcore rules match slash extreme rules match slash no holds barred match. This is actually one of the matches I'm looking forward to the most at Battleground. And I know they had a previous matchup, of course, at Night of Champions. That match, if you watch my Night of Champions review, I was pretty disappointed with that matchup. More specifically, I was disappointed with the ending of the matchup, the disqualification loss for Del Rio. You know, I would have preferred Del Rio to either get a submission victory or, you know, pinfall victory, or Rob Van Dam to win by pinfall or submission. Actually, has Rob Van Dam ever won a match by submission? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he's won every single one of his matches by, you know, pinfall, disqualifications, but, you know, not submission. So, what was I going to say here? Yeah, so I was pretty disappointed with the match at Night of Champions, disqualification, but now it all makes sense. You know, disqualification loss leads to a no disqualification matchup, where this time there is no disqualification. Del Rio cannot get himself disqualified, and pretty much anything goes. They can use any weapon. You know, it's gonna be a cool matchup. I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, it's Rob Van Dam, an Extreme Rules match or Hardcore Rules match, so should be good. You know, maybe we're going to see some Van Daminators, some Van Terminators, and maybe we'll see some tables getting broken. Who knows? Maybe a 5-star frog splash through the table, but if that actually happens, then I think Rob Van Dam wins the matchup. I don't think Del Rio would kick out of that. You know, I mean, I don't think Del Rio would kick out of a 5-star frog splash, but then you combine the 5-star frog splash with a table, then, you know, it's like a guarantee that Rob Van Dam wins. But I don't think Rob Van Dam's gonna win. It's just, you know, the prediction wasn't like a clear-cut choice, like, alright, Del Rio's winning this, 100% guarantee. No, actually, you know, there was a point where I was like, you know, considering maybe Rob Van Dam wins this matchup. But then I thought about it a little bit more, and I decided to stick with Del Rio. I think he's gonna remain champion for a while, at least for this matchup. I don't think he's gonna lose it here. And there's a reason why I was gonna go for Rob Van Dam. And it's not because I think Rob Van Dam's gonna win the championship and, you know, go on to defend the title a bunch of times, this and that. It's the only reason why I was kind of considering Rob Van Dam winning this matchup is if Damien Sandow cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase. I mean, it makes sense, right? It is a hardcore rules match, so this matchup involves weapons. It's more exhausting. It's more physical. You know, the winner's gonna be more tired after the matchup than your typical, just regular one-on-one matchup with disqualification and countouts included. So it just, you know, makes sense for Damien Sandow to maybe cash in his briefcase at that moment. But Damien Sandow right now, his win-loss record isn't too good, and not only that, but here's the thing, there's been rumors that after Battleground, Rob Van Dam is going to take like a 90-day break. He's going to be off for 90 days, so that's, you know, 3 months, and if Rob Van Dam's going to be out for that long, I mean, you know, it does make sense if you look at it. You know, Rob Van Dam going to be out for 90 days, so, you know, they could go with Rob Van Dam barely winning the matchup, and then Damien Sandow on top of that, you know, hitting his finisher on Rob Van Dam or something like that, winning the championship, and then Rob Van Dam, we don't see him for a while. But at the same time, if Rob Van Dam does take like a 90-day, you know, break, and we don't see him for that long, then who would Damien Sandow feud with next? Who would Damien Sandow defend his championship against? The only logical choice would be Del Rio, the former champion, because, well, the former champion would be Rob Van Dam, the former champion would be Del Rio. But since Rob Van Dam would not be there, then, like, the logical opponent would be Del Rio, and that just, I don't know, that wouldn't work. I mean, you've got Del Rio as a heel, and you've also got Damien Sandow as a heel, unless Damien Sandow turns face. But with a face cash in on Rob Van Dam after the Hardcore Rules match, I'm not sure about that. That wouldn't be that wouldn't be really like a good start to a face turn. You know, cashing in on a big fan favorite like Rob Van Dam. And as far as Del Rio turning face, I don't see it. I mean, he just turned heel again. So him turning face, I don't think so. And it seems like Del Rio might be aligned with Triple H. I mean, when Triple H told Rob Van Dam that he would be getting another World Heavyweight Championship matchup, it was Rob Van Dam was like in the medic's office or whatever, and Triple H gives him the announcement. Right after Triple H leaves, by coincidence or whatever, Del Rio comes in and attacks Rob Van Dam. So if Del Rio is, you know, aligned with Triple H, is on Triple H's side, then I doubt Del Rio is going to be turning face anytime soon. Now, another scenario is Ricardo turning heel on Rob Van Dam. Now, this can be done in actually two ways. I could see this going two ways, but first off, the first way I could see it taking place is, of course, Ricardo, you know, betraying Rob Van Dam, or turning his back on Rob Van Dam, causing him the matchup, whatever you want to call it, during his match against Del Rio. So, you know, I don't know, he hits Rob Van Dam or distracts him for Del Rio to pick up the victory. Or, option number two, I can see taking place maybe. This is, of course, if Del Rio doesn't win, because that is my top choice here. I think, you know, out of all of the possible scenarios, I think the most likely thing to happen is just Del Rio winning the matchup without even, I don't know, maybe Ricardo betrays Rob Van Dam. But anyways, option two is Ricardo betrays Rob Van Dam after Rob Van Dam wins the championship off of Del Rio. So Rob Van Dam beats Del Rio, and then Damien Sandow could come out and Ricardo could betray Rob Van Dam, allowing Damien Sandow to cash in that briefcase, and then he could align himself with Damien Sandow, and maybe Damien Sandow's new manager would be Ricardo. But thinking about that, I don't know, that's not, I don't see Damien Sandow aligning himself with Ricardo. It just, I don't know, it doesn't match. And as far as Ricardo turning his back on Rob Van Dam to help out Del Rio, like I said at the Not a Champions prediction game video, that wouldn't make too much sense. I mean, Del Rio beat the shit out of Ricardo. He beat him with a bucket, put his head in between the steel steps and the steel post, hit a drop kick on his head, and then he also beat him up in a one-on-one matchup on SmackDown. And after the match, on top of that, if that wasn't enough, he also locks in the cross arm breaker on Ricardo after the matchup. So why would Ricardo go back and help out Del Rio when Del Rio did all of that to him? Doesn't make too much sense, but I'm not ruling it out. You know, we could possibly see it happening. I mean, if Ricardo, because if Rob Van Dam is away for 90 days, and Ricardo stays with Rob Van Dam, doesn't turn on Rob Van Dam, doesn't betray him, then I would assume we wouldn't be seeing Ricardo as well for 90 days. But if Ricardo turns his back on Rob Van Dam, goes back with Del Rio, then of course we'd see Ricardo on a regular basis again. And once Rob Van Dam comes back, then maybe he could, you know, have one more match with Del Rio or with Ricardo to try and get payback. So there's a bunch of scenarios I just went over. But like I said, out of all of these scenarios, I think just the simple scenario of Del Rio retaining somehow, you know, making Rob Van Dam tap out or, you know, pinning him is the most likely thing to happen. Whether Ricardo betrays Rob Van Dam or not, I think the winner of this matchup is going to be Del Rio. If Rob Van Dam wins, then hey, that's fine with me. It'd be a cool surprise. But I don't think Rob Van Dam would just win the championship and that's it. I would think Rob Van Dam would win the championship. By the way, check that out. It's top rope, arm drag, through a table. Anyways, yeah, I would think Rob Van Dam just wins the championship and then Damien Sandow cashes it in on Rob Van Dam, but going back to what I said, who would he feud with next? It would make sense for him to feud with Del Rio, which I don't know, I can't see happening. So, bottom line, I am sticking with Del Rio retaining and winning this matchup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can click that like button. With that said, I'm out, guys. See ya.